Queens resumes action in the new year on Wednesday night versus Catawba up the road in Salisbury, North Carolina. And we're joined by the head coach of the third-ranked team in the country, Bart Lundy. Coach, while we were away, you move up a spot in the NABC coaches poll to number 3. It's the highest ranking in program history. Now, you've achieved a lot in your years, especially the 9 years here at Queens. The program has achieved quite a bit in its 29 years, but never this high of a ranking. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think it means that you get some recognition for the work that you're doing, and for the work especially that our players are putting in. And this group, since we arrived on campus, has been the hardest working group that we've had here. And I think that ranking is indicative of the work that they've put in and the confidence they have because of the work.
2.5 weeks off now for the semester break, also the holidays. How can you handle those 2.5 weeks balancing getting the kids home, but also keeping them in the gym and keeping them fresh?
Well, it's tough because you get them in great shape and you get rolling in the first semester, and then they've got 8 days off, and it's almost like you're starting over. So it's a balance between getting them back in shape but not getting them so sore that they can't progress as a team. So we purposely don't schedule games until this January 4th game, so we have at least a week to get them hopefully back where we were and maybe even progressing.
Now, momentum's a pretty big thing in sports, and you guys were rolling 12-0. A 2.5 week break is just tough. How can you take something that would seem detrimental and turn it into a positive thing for your group?
Well, part of it is, too, you get to heal. Daniel Camps was out, and he's had 2.5 weeks where he didn't miss all those games to try to heal, and other guys have knees and backs and ankles, and so that is definitely a positive. And one of the things we got to do over this break was we got to go to because they don't have class, we got to go to the Charlotte Rescue Mission and help some folks that we normally, when they're in class, wouldn't have time to help. So we helped feed a lunch and hang out with some guys that are struggling in our community. And, that's an experience that I think grows you as a team, but also grows each one of them individually.
Yeah, taking advantage of the off time. And you mentioned Daniel Camps. He missed the last 4 games with that ankle injury. Chance he could go on Wednesday. He's your leading scorer. He's your leading rebounder. What does Daniel Camps bring to the team that when he's not out there, you miss without him on the floor?
Well, yeah, he brings so many different things. I mean, obviously you look at him and he's just a physical presence on the court. He's strong, he's athletic, he's fast. He can play almost a point center position. He's a unique player. But we also missed his leadership and his experience and the cohesiveness that we had before he went out.
Let's talk a little bit about Catawba on Wednesday. This is a very different team that was picked in the upper echelon in the conference this season. They're 9-3 overall. They feature 3 of the top 10 scorers in the conference. Not your grandfather's Catawba team by any means. What do you see out of this year's Indians unit?
Well, I see a group that has paid their dues, a group that has grown with Coach Perrin, a group that is as talented as anybody in the league, and have, as you mentioned it, real stars in our conference, and a team that I'm sure is going to be hungry to come out and play against the Royals.
Yeah, Jameel Taylor leading them at 19 points per game. 3 of their scorers average over 15 points per game. Last year in 2 meetings, you beat them pretty good both times out. I know it's something that's on their mind, and that's kind of been a message to your team. Can you take anything from the game tape of last year's contests?
Not really. They've got KJ Arrington back, who didn't play at all last year, out with injury. We have an entirely different team for the most part. So, if anything, I think that's motivation for Catawba. And we've got a bunch of guys who didn't experience that, and the guys that did, they know some things about Catawba, but they probably not seen KJ Arrington or remember him 2 years ago. So I think it's 2 whole different teams, and if anything, those games last year are motivation for Catawba.
Yeah, KJ Arrington, one of those guys out last year with an injury and was an all-league player the year before that. So we'll see on Wednesday night, Queens versus Catawba. We'll have the play-by-play commentary for you on queensathletics.com/Royals Live. Coach, appreciate it. Thanks for taking a few minutes. Best of luck.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.